Welcome back to My Be Collecting. Steven here, and I wanted to go over what it is that we're actually collecting right now. For this channel, I wanted to obtain a bunch of different collectibles across different genres and mediums. So we'll focus on collecting a complete set or series, and then move our focus on to completing another collection, and then repeat the process all over again. The Jada metal figs will be the first item of focus on this channel. So then you ask,
Steven, why are you collecting these Jada metalfigs?
and then I'll say, good question, subscribe viewer. Two simple reasons. They're cheap. $5 may be more than what some people want to part ways with, but $5 isn't a big hit to me and my family. And the second reason is their availability. You can find these on the shelves at Walmart's, Five Below's, or random department stores. And even when those fail, you can always get them online. So it's the metal figs until we collect every single metal fig possible. I know what you're saying.
Steven, what's so hard about that?
And I'll say, I'm glad you asked, subscribe viewer who liked this video and turn on post notifications. First, we realized there are a few different variations of metal figs. You have your 2.5 inch, 4 inch, 6 inch metal figs, and then you even have some in special sizes. And take into consideration that some of these metal figs started coming out almost 8 years ago. So getting access to certain metal figs is going to be a challenge. Availability for different metal figs in different sizes is not always going to be on our side.
Steven, didn't you just say...
This is what you sound like. This is what you sound like to me.
Steven, didn't you just say the reason you were to collect these metalfigs is because of availability?
Right, I did. But with the newly released metal figs, they're always going to be easier to find than the original ones. So the last point I'll make is there is no comprehensive list of these figures. Believe me, I reached out to Jada support team and they couldn't even give me a list to compare my collection to. So that means half the time I won't even know certain metal figs exist unless I randomly stumble across them. So that means we're going to have to get strategic and organized. So to get organized, we'll start with our objective. And our objective is a simple one. Collect all the Jada toy metal figs. To avoid making this an impossible task like collecting every single Funko Pop, let's get a little more specific. We'll collect every 2.5 inch Jada toy metal fig. So how do we complete this objective? Well, let's simplify. First, we'll start by breaking down the metal figs into two groups. We have our original figs and our modern figs. And just to show the difference, the easiest way for me to tell is between the shape. The original figs had this prism shape with tapered edges, as compared to the modern figs that had this simpler box shape. Now that you understand the difference between the two figs, let's talk about some of the pre-work needed to complete the scope for this collection. First, we need to identify how many metal figs do we actually need to obtain. How do we figure this out? I started a baseline with the metal figs that I've seen in stores, and by looking up certain characters, you'll see different variations, and they shed light on different collections and smaller sets. And after going down the rabbit hole, I found that there are around 250 metal figs that we will have to obtain to complete our objective. So I created a spreadsheet to track each figure. I'll be able to check off each metal fig as they start to come in. Now that we know how many metal figs we now need to identify a source to where we can get these metal figs from. And this is where availability comes into play. For the modern figs, you can find them in stores like Walmart and Five Below, but for the original figs that are no longer being produced, you have to have some luck and find them in random department stores or collection shops, or find them online. I know shopping online can be sketchy sometimes, but that's why I use sites like eBay or Mercari, where the sellers are verified and they offer you some protection just in case you don't get what you paid for. Now, before we go out and buy every fig out there, I want to talk about the exclusions and exceptions. We want all 2.5 inch metal figs, but you'll see that they come in two different styles. You can get them individually or in a bundled completed set, which they do have the same exact figs in the bundles for the most part, but we will not be buying the bundle sets. Though I do agree it might make acquiring them a little easier, but I like the challenge of hunting them down individually. First exception. Now, I will buy the bundled set if it does come with a unique figure exclusive to the bundle, or if the bundle's just too good to pass up. I mean, look at this mystery machine. Yes, I could get the team individually, but come on, the packaging itself is the mystery machine. Next exclusion. I will not be collecting any loose figures or any metal figs that come in unsealed or damaged boxes. Now, I would like to complete this collection by any means necessary, but I want some good quality. Like I mentioned before, I'm drawn to their presentation and their overall appeal. Last exception. There are just some figures that you cannot get in the 2.5 inch size. So if I'm a big enough fan, I will grab the bigger size. Now that we have a plan of attack, let me give you an update. We currently have 206 metal figs out of 250, meaning over the course of this channel, you'll watch me as I try to collect the last 44 metal figs needed to complete the entire collection. Wait, wait. I've had this box here the entire video that I was saving for a short. But let's do a quick what's in the box. So what we have here are the remaining four figures needed to complete this Wonder Woman set. This set right here. This is one of the more interesting grabs because my wife wanted to get me some metal figs to cross off my list, and this was the only one that she could find from the set. Coincidentally, this Wonder Woman is the only one that was not part of that list. Wow, these 4 inch figs are bigger in person. Look at the reference. Looks like it's even the same characters on the back. You know, seeing this up close, it's not so bad. Anyway, let's get these out of here. You know me, I always got to check the condition. This one looks like it was maybe unsealed at one point in time, or did it just bow out really badly? Maybe if I can get this one back in there, it might fold nicely. But this is Queen Hippolyta herself, M284, going off the list. Let's see. She is M283. Another one crossed off the list. Steve Trevor, M285. Decent condition. This is Wonder Woman in her suit, M282. I can live with the bending. This is the one that we already had. So it's, I gotta say thank you to my wife again because this was the only one needed from this set. So with 281 in play, we now have the full set. I will be able to add this one to the collection. These figs look great. I'm glad we'll be able to cross these off the list. That means we now have 40 out of 250 metal figs to collect. I guess we'll shelve the 4 inch fig for now. I might decide to collect all the 4 inch metal figs down the road, but I don't think it's going to be the next item up for collection on the channel. But I won't say never. And with that, I think that's a good enough stopping point. I just want to shed some light on the current mission and the why behind it. As usual, thanks for watching the video. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch. And if no one is watching, I guess this video will just disappear to the void that is YouTube. You're right, 2019 Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard. Let's think positive. Again, thank you. I appreciate you. And I'll be seeing you soon.